Here is a tour of this small pipe organ here. It consists of two sets of pipes, a flute, which is rather chiffy, and a string that has a fairly full-bodied sound. Here's the blower and regulator, and then you can also see the 8-foot pipes here below. And this is the relay. It utilizes the Artisan Micro MIDI system, which is a very flexible and user-friendly system to use. And then for a console, we have a two-tiered stage stand with a Roland pedal keyboard and two M-Audio Axiom 61s for MIDI controllers, and they all go into a MIDI Solutions merge box. The organ's two voices are fairly compatible with one another, even though they weren't from the same organ. One is from a 1930s Kimball and the other is from a 1970s Wix. And so I'll demonstrate the two sounds here. I'm going to first go with the string here. Kind of hard to play and hold the tablet at the same time, so I can't really play much of anything on it here. I may do that later if I can find an assistant. And then the flute, which like I say, is pretty chiffy. And the action is fairly responsive. It's the pipe works on fairly low pressure. It's about 2 3/4 inches. Okay, now that I have an assistant, I have my hands free and I can demonstrate the two different stops on this organ. First, the string. And then it can be played at 8 and 4 foot, which, oops, that's the flute, sorry. And then it can be played at unison with the flute. And then the flute can be played by itself, you know. And it can be played at 8 and 4. And then it can be played at string 8 and 4, and then just the flute at 8 foot. And then I have the flute on the pedal, so you can get that with it as well. And then you can play the flute and string at both 8 and 4, and it sounds like this. And then you can play the flute at 8 and 4, and then the string at 8, 4, and 2, which sounds like this. Quite a few tonal colors out of just a very small specification like this. And then you could also play a solo on, you know, the flute at 8 and 4, and then I think it's 8 and 4. Yeah, flute at 8 and 4, and then the string at just 8 foot here. Or just at 8 foot. It's really amazing just how versatile something like this can be, and then you can have sort of a full organ-like sound. As you can probably tell, I am not a great organist. I just know how to play enough to be able to hear it. And so, anyway, that's just kind of a demonstration here of a very small specification. And this organ is also quite portable. As you can see, it's erected on a folding table. And so all this can be taken apart, and 1 or 2 people can carry every piece. And it can be set up and tuned in 2 to 3 hours, depending on how much bouncing around it got along the way. I actually have not tuned it since I moved it last, and so the tuning is actually very stable. Anyway, just thought I'd put this together to just kind of demonstrate this and what you can do with just a flute and a string.